If you want shares of the SpaceX IPO, you need to go to Fidelity.com and open a personal investment account, and you need to do that right now because they just changed a rule this morning that makes it a heck of a lot easier for you to get them. Now, SpaceX will begin trading next Friday, June the 12th, at the market open. The IPO officially gets priced on Thursday, although we already know it's going to be $135 a share. But on Thursday, June 11th, that's when the brokers will award the IPO shares. And you need to have this account open and funded by Wednesday, or you're not going to get them. Now, here's the rule change. Up until today, Fidelity had a rule that you had to have at least $500,000 in investable assets with them in order to be considered for the IPO. They just dropped that to $2,000. $2,000. That's all you've got to have. Now, you can't buy these in an IRA or 401k account. You can't buy any IPO in those. It has to be a regular personal investment account, just funded with whatever money you got sitting around in your checking account or savings account or some other broker. Now, there's only 5 brokers getting access to these shares. Robinhood, SoFi, Fidelity, Schwab, and E-Trade. Now, Schwab, if you're not a private client, forget it. They're not giving it to you. Robinhood, maybe you get some, I don't know, but the big retail crowd is already at Robinhood, so I would expect to see more competition there. SoFi, I don't really know as much about, but Fidelity is making this a lot easier. So I think what they're doing is trying to attract new retail business, and it's probably going to work. But that means 1/5 of the allocation awarded to these 5 brokers for regular retail investors like us is at Fidelity, and they're making it easier for you to get it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it right now, okay? So this is the email I got earlier this week from Fidelity on the new issue offering. So as you can see, SpaceX, officially called Space Exploration Technologies Corp., will be issuing 555,555,555 shares at $135 a piece. Now, typically, the way these IPOs work is they'll give a range. It'll be like 130 to 150. And then for 2 weeks, they do, or for a week, 1 week, they do what's called a road show, where they just go around, go into the big institutional investors, trying to sell them on their stock, drum up interest. And depending on how well or poorly that goes, they'll price the IPO somewhere in that range. They try to get as much as they can. Elon said, we're not playing that game. It's going to be $135 a share. Deal with it, okay? Now, expected pricing date, 6/11, but again, it's already fixed. But that's the date. The day before so Thursday is when these get allocated, and you're not guaranteed. So here's how you're going to get them, okay? Go to Fidelity.com. Again, you're going to need to open an account there, a regular investment account if you don't already have one. I actually opened a new one, just threw like 50 grand in this to try to put into the SpaceX, but here's how you're going to do it. Just search IPO up here in the top right corner, and you'll see that quick link that says IPO calendar. All right, click on that. And here are the current offerings coming to market: Paribus, SpaceX, ELOX, and EROC. Okay. So if you want to participate, here's the process. You must fill out what's called an indication of interest, where you're going to tell them how many shares you would like to have. I don't know if you're going to get it. You may get all of it. You may get partial. You may get none of it. But you have to do that first. And again, has to be done no later than Wednesday. All right. So you're just going to hit participate right here. You'll select your personal account. So if I tried to buy this in my 401k or my health savings account, it wouldn't let me do it. So you got to select individual and hit next step. Now, it's not letting me do this because I've already entered an indication of interest. But once you do, see this tab at the top says indications of interest? That's going to be what you've got. So is it confirmed yet? No, it is not. I requested 370 shares, which is roughly $50,000 worth. And on Thursday, I'll find out how many I'm getting. So like I said, I opened a new account to do this because I've only got retirement accounts at Fidelity, wired in $50,000 last week. Looks like I've already made $13 interest. That's nice. So it's all I'm doing with this. Now, let me tell you how this process is going to work, okay? Now, by the way, if you like content like this and you want to take your investing to the next level, be sure to click the link in the description or go to tradewithross.com to get signed up for my Black Ops trading service. It is $5 for the entire year. I trade live with a 1-hour group mentoring session every Monday. for the entire year. You get my weekly newsletter, you get access to some bonus reports, my support team, all kinds of stuff. It is just $5 for the whole year. So go to that link, scan the QR code, or go to tradewithross.com to get signed up. So on the homepage, obviously there's going to be a button, open an account. You're going to click regular individual investment account, fill out your name, social security number, DOB, all that kind of stuff right there. Unless you just say you're a terrorist on the weekends, they're going to go ahead and approve the account. And when you get through the account application, there is going to instantly be a button to fund that account. And this is the important part, okay? Wall Street brokers move slow. If you just transfer money, they'll take a couple of days for the money to clear, and it's going to be this whole ordeal. It's not going to be there in time, because if on Thursday, when they decide who gets the shares, if you requested that you want 100 shares of the IPO and you don't have any money to buy those 100 shares, they're not going to get them to you. So you need to get that money in the account as quickly as possible. There's going to be options to either wire, send a check, or ACH. The check's out the window. If you do the ACH, I think it uses Plaid. You can log in. If you use a big bank like a Chase or a Wells, you can log into your bank right there, connect the account, set up the ACH, and hopefully it goes through and clears Monday, Tuesday, no later than Wednesday. But you need to do that this weekend. If you use a little local bank like I do here in Nowhere, Alabama, that's not an option. What you're going to want to do is hit the wire transfer, print the page out with your wiring instructions, and on Monday, go to your local bank, hand them that, and send a wire transfer into your account. That way, the funds will be there and cleared on Thursday when they choose how many people get the shares. Again, no guarantee you're going to get them, but if you don't have the money in the account, I promise you're not going to get them, okay? So what's going to happen on Friday? Well, first things first, it's not going to open at $135. $135 a share is the IPO price. That's what the early investors are getting, which is hopefully me, usually just the big guys like Goldman Sachs and Schwab, right? So if everyone paid $135 for it, no one is going to offer it for sale at less than $135 per share on Friday morning. So it is always going to gap up. It is going to open higher than that. How much higher, I don't know. But what I expect to see, at least for the first couple of hours on Friday, is a big run higher. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be shocked by this because there is so much demand. A lot of people are not going to get the IPO shares, and a lot of regular folks are going to be out there placing market buy on Friday once the thing begins trading. And based on the float size, that could move this stock pretty vigorously, pretty quickly. But after the first couple hours, I really don't know. This is going to be a wild one. We've never seen anything like this. Now, I will tell you this. If you buy this IPO and do not plan to hold it for a little while, be prepared for your broker not to like you very much. Some of them will hit you with like a $50 fine if you sell it in the first 2 weeks. Some of them will cut you off from all future IPOs. You're not going to jail. You're not in any big trouble, but they have that power and it is at their discretion. So just know that going in. But my expectation is you're going to see this stock a lot higher when it begins trading, and getting the shares post-IPO is probably going to cost you a lot more, because unlike a typical IPO that will do the initial rally and then kind of go through the price discovery method and it settles down 50, 60% of the next couple of months, you're not going to see as much of that with SpaceX, not just because of demand, but because the NASDAQ index changed its rules to add the stock to the NASDAQ 100 early after just 15 days. The Russell 1000 changed their rules. They're going to add it to their index after 5 days. So that's going to bring a big wave of passive indexed funds, hundreds of billions of dollars, that are then forced to buy this stock, whether it trades at $2 or $2,000. So there's going to be some buying support, consistent buying support going forward. But that's how to get the IPO. Again, your three best options, if you do not have an account already and want to try, are going to be Fidelity, Robinhood, and SoFi. I suggest Fidelity only because they just changed this rule. Almost everybody already went to Robinhood and put funds over there. Robinhood and Fidelity, I'm pretty sure, get the same number of shares. So I think it's going to be just a slightly smaller pool at Fidelity, which is going to increase the odds that you get an allocation. Folks, if you got something out of this video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be covering this live, probably trading it on the opening day, especially if I get shares. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so I can keep you up to date on it. And I'll see you in the next video.